Hey guys, welcome to Konsui Fighter Live June update. It's June, right? I'm pretty
For
sure
now,
it's June.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's June.
That it is.
How's everyone doing? My name is Logan. I'm the lead marketing and all that fun stuff person for Konsui Fighter.
Lots of hats.
And we are, of course, joined by our usual crew, Shane Helms, who is the lead director, as well as Sean Cornett, who is one of the developers, networking guy, all that.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Let's see. This is the first time that we are streaming on 4 channels. Our Facebook page, finally.
Yeah.
This is our first time on Kick. We're streaming on Twitch, obviously, and then also YouTube. And so welcome everyone who is new here. Also, if this is not your first time, you'll also notice that we have a little bit different of a little bit different of an overlay here. So one of my good friends, Nexia, designed our kind of new streaming overlays, and I think it looks dope.
Fancy.
So
Really
my
good.
monitor's over here, so that's
Yeah.
why if you ever see me looking this way, it's because I'm looking at it.
I have a couple previews.
But anyways, welcome. For those of you who are new, this is Konsui Fighter Live. This is our monthly, bi-monthly, it's going to be monthly, I swear I'm going to get better, update to our game, Konsui Fighter, where we kind of update you, the community, on what we've done with the game, what events we have going on, and all that stuff. So
Yep.
that's pretty much all I have. Let's go ahead and move on to our updates.
Cool.
Yeah. So why don't we actually start with our recent event?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start with NakaCon.
Yeah.
So NakaCon is our Kansas City-based anime convention, and we were there as a vendor, basically, in the gaming area to showcase our game. Now, if I was smart, I would have probably put some pictures up here. Anyways,
We posted some on Twitter.
right. So yeah, if you follow us on Twitter, I've posted there as well as Facebook. But it was a really good event. It's a 3 days. And we had the game showcasing on our mobile devices. We had it showcased on PC through fighting sticks as well as controller. And then this was also the first time that we showed it on a Steam Deck.
Yep.
So it's coming to PC. And a lot of really great feedback on Steam Deck. Really, a lot of people really liking the Steam Deck, which is cool. Again, great.
A lot of people, it was their first time actually seeing a
Steam Deck, right?
Deck and getting to try it out, hands on. So that was kind of cool.
So we had a lot of people just coming in, and we had a lot of people coming back, which is really nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
But I mean, what's nice is that we're pretty much going to be at Naka every year now. I think that's
Yep.
pretty much kind of been set in stone now with the gaming director there.
Yeah, it's been working out great. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice because it's only like a 15-minute drive from our office.
Oh, yeah.
But that is pretty much, that was it with Naka. Again, a lot of really good feedback. I learned a lot about... So people were asking me specifically about what characters are your blank.
Yeah.
So like zoning and all that stuff. And for how many conventions that we've gone to showcase that? I
How
swear,
many years?
I've
I
never
know-
had
I know
questions.
he's gotten it before.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. This was the first time
We got more.
I've
definitely.
ever gotten them consistently.
Yeah.
So that's my homework is to learn all the archetypes.
Yep.
But I think that's
It's-
really it with Naka.
I will say I'm glad that it's kind of come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, pandemic was just horrible timing that year
Yeah.
because it started and they canceled 15 minutes before it started.
Yeah,
And then they skipped a
NakaCon
year.
got put in kind of a bad position
Yeah.
with all that. So
But it seems to be recovering, which is good.
Yep.
So next year, I hope we're even bigger. We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yep.
Did we, speaking of anime cons, I don't know if it's in your thing, or do we want to talk about the other one that we might do local?
I'll do that on the what's next.
Okay.
Sure.
So,
Because we have a couple events to talk about.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But so that was NakaCon, and then game updates. We have quite a few things to talk about because we've had a lot. We've gotten under our belt since the last update. So why don't we start with a quick look at the quality pass that we've done?
Sure.
And this is in the public build right now. So if you hop out to Google Play and you pick up an early access copy of Konsui Fighter, this is now in the current build. But yeah, we took another chunk of time to work on a quality pass for a lot of the in-game assets. So a lot of the stages, the character art, pretty much all the visual components for in-game have had some touch-ups and some resampling at higher quality to meet our quality bar for release. So, there's still some hand cleanup of a couple frames here and there, and obviously we'll have a few more character frames to integrate into the game, but by and large, we're getting close to like release grade quality for a good chunk of the core game, which is pretty exciting, and you can check it out right now. This is kind of in an effort to also better support high-res displays for our PC presence and other platforms. So, yeah. Beyond that, and sort of as part of that, we've also worked on some more character adjustments that we've incorporated into the game. So if you watch our last few streams, we've showed off a couple character adjustments that Jas has been working on, and those have all been incorporated into the game, and now he's focusing on some of our character flip content. I've spoken about this a little bit before, but we're going to be adding a formal character flipping motion to the game to aid with some cross-up scenarios and other things. They give a little bit more of a delay in timing before a character is considered flipped, so that you have a little more time to cross the threshold of another character to deliver a cross-up hit, and some other situations like that, especially for knockdown cross-ups and things like that. So he's working on that. We've got a couple characters that he's put together frames for. You can see here, we've got Isamu, Yuraku, and Hitan. They're just really simple 4-frame animations, but we're excited to get those in the game and get the mechanical additions
I like how
set up for that.
It looks like he's hugging his sword at one point.
Yep.
he's like, mine.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, the other thing we've been spending a lot of time on, and kind of Sean's main focal point, is a lot of our networking updates. And I think I've got kind of a slide of some of the planning that Sean and I did. We had a big, 3-4 hour sort of architectural discussion to go through mapping out
A lot of high-level stuff.
a number of things about the remaining network mode. You can kind of see in the top right where we were talking about the structure of the menu flow. I know these are really crude drawings, but just kind of like
There is
roughly,
a method to the madness.
Yeah, just roughly mapping out sort of the menu flow, what that should look like, now supporting various types of local and online multiplayer play, friends list management, what the actual screen flow should look like going from match to match while in a session. We're also kind of mapping out the actual technical flow for establishing matches, for online play, which is some of the stuff we have in the top left. You can see I noted here, powered by Microsoft Azure PlayFab, and we've spoken on it before, but we're using PlayFab, or we intend to use PlayFab for sort of our online play backend. So that will provide a lot of the matchmaking and sort of like user profile, friends list management stuff there. And then the bottom center, which I'll segue into Sean talking about this a little bit, we were also mapping out some of our stuff related to the new network quality management and the new sync process that's sort of built on. So why don't we start with the sync process?
Sure.
And I'll let you talk about that. We can probably go back to our main view for that.
Sure.
So we have a new sync process we built for network. What is different about that?
So there's way that we synced before was kind of crude, but it worked initially, and we found that talking through multiple iterations of it, we found that there's a much easier way of doing it. So now it has a much better process. It's also more in line with how a lot of other systems handle like NetSync and stuff to try to keep both systems in sync. So like if one falls behind, or if one is ahead, it'll detect that and figure out, oh, I need to like pause or skip some frames potentially.
Yeah.
And then it's fairly straightforward, but there's a lot of edge cases we got to test. But it ended up being simpler actually than our old implementation.
Yep. And the big difference I think we solved with this is the fact that with the previous implementation, we noticed it had a tendency to push out of phase during periods of network latency.
If you have a big spike, it would kind of make it longer.
And so it would actually shift the gameplay kind of out of sync. But in this implementation, that doesn't really happen, at least so far as I'm testing. Yeah. It maintains real-time sync a lot better.
Yeah. So. And even if you can force it out of sync and it just kind of quickly catches up.
Yeah.
So, and it minimizes things like hard pauses unless it really needs to. If you're outside of a certain window, we have so. And then, kind of diving into that, like we have the network quality indicator. So Shane put together a little indicator that I get a call, and then I've done a bunch of math and tests, and we're kind of checking against frame rate and ping times right now, and we have some rough metrics to say like, well, your ping quality is really bad right now, and it'll pop up a little indicator. And if it sustains that for too long, it'll turn red and potentially suspend the match. And at some point, their next step is to actually have it like pop up a message of like, hey, your connection is unstable. We might need to disconnect. So, and then usually our frame rate's very solid, but just as like kind of a backup measure, we do have that as part of that general quality thing. Mm-hmm. So if one system is like overloaded or somebody gets a call,
real-time sync, as well.
There'll be other things that will cause essentially a sync issue. Mm-hmm. So, that's how we're doing that so far.
Yeah. Looking pretty good. I think you're getting close to having like like we ran a test last night actually, just going off of the process frames, and it looks pretty promising.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's working good so far.
Yeah.
Then it's just about like testing that our bounds are correct and anything like that. And then we have done, just for fun, online matches. Like you have to open up ports currently, but between like his home and over here at the studio, just to see what like a real internet match might look like and some of the numbers we see from that.
And the big call out there again is kind of the updated sync. So because the previous real-time sync method had a tendency in higher ping situations to go out of phase, online play didn't really work as well. Yeah. And with this approach doing a better job of maintaining sync, now online play is way more solid.
Yeah, because even playing that, we saw spikes of like 100 or 2. So normally that would cause a lot of issues, but it barely just registered.
Going. Yeah.
And quickly just got back to where it needed to.
Yeah.
So I mean, another thing that I would say that's really nice about this is just the fact that we're going to be able to make it to where we can get that cross play kind of thing. So, so our game originally is on mobile devices, and we're coming out with our PC versions as well. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that just means it's going to be really nice where I'm at Shane's house over here, and then I'm like, Shane, I want to kick your ass at this game, but I don't have my Steam Deck or like another computer. Mm-hmm. I could just get on my phone and be like, all right, let's go, and we're just going to be able to do it from right there. So, so this is going to be really, really cool once it's out.
And with PlayFab, technically, that will allow us to support some degree of cross-platform play. Yeah. We should be able to integrate into each platform's user profile. Mm-hmm. So like if you're playing on Steam and one of your Steam friends has the game, we'll support connecting to them for online play through your Steam friends list. Yep. We're also probably going to have a platform agnostic way where you can provide like a user code and you can sort of do a friends match with someone to add to your friends list as a direct friend outside of a specific platform. At least PlayFab supports most of that internally. We don't know yet if we're going to hit any particular platforms that might be particular about what kind of cross-platform features they're going to allow us to do, but at least
For all
our
the open
intent
platforms, yeah.
is to support as much as we can.
Yeah.
So anybody can play anywhere as possible.
And another big goal is like, you might sign in to Steam, obviously, or Google has their own Google Play services, but like you're not going to really need an account with us. Like it'll just work seamlessly, or you can just get a code and just connect to another person using that code, things like that.
Yep.
So, and then we'll have matchmaking and yeah, and then other platform-specific things like syncing your saves across devices and things like that. So that's all coming shortly after this.
Yep.
So please look forward to it.
Yeah, exactly.
We at least have a plan.
Yep. And then on my end, I'm kind of taking another look at some more balancing updates following our. You flip to one. You hid one.
Whoops.
That's all good. So I'm taking a look at some more balancing updates. Again, just kind of following
My bad.
some of the user feedback that we've seen, observing gameplay, observing the AI. So what you're looking at right here is kind of just a quick AI versus AI match I had running. I've been running a lot of iterations of this to look at a couple different dynamics and also playing the AI. But what I'm really looking at right now has to do with a lot of the low end balance. So normals, light and strong attacks, and how that whole phase of play really feels, because we've noticed, like previously, the AI has some trouble with finding good counters to someone like spamming normal attacks because they're so fast. We've noticed in person versus person play at events and stuff that is kind of a sticking point. And so I've been really kind of digging into some of that, and eagle-eyed viewers who have really been digging into some of our games' balance details, which is probably nobody out there yet, but might notice some little things here. But let's flip over to the Balancing 2 video. So this is a situation where specifically I have the player 2 AI repeatedly punching. This would be like a spamming scenario. And this is with some adjustments that I've made. You can see that the AI now does a much better job of figuring out ways to get around it and ultimately take down the opponent, despite the fact that they're constantly spamming normal attacks. Before, we had a lot of issues where they would kind of keep throwing themselves at the opponent repeatedly and like just get chipped away at or couldn't figure things out. So a couple key adjustments that I'm working on that have made some of this possible. One thing, all of our hit stun times have been reduced. So we've chipped down hit stun by about 4 frames, which actually gets us 4 frames at each tier of stun. That actually gets us more in line with most classic fighting games. And I think that opens up a little more time to respond. Because a lot of what we've seen is that threat and stun are kind of just pegging you in place a lot and not giving you as much of opportunities to counter with something and respond. So that's helping. Another thing we've done is trim down the meat of all the light attacks. They were way too high. So, a move like this where Yasuo's just flailing previously had a fairly meaty, like, active time where it could hit. And so it was the window of time you had to try to counter in the startup or recovery period was very thin. And now they've kind of been tuned a little bit for testing. Not all the characters have been dialed in yet. I'm just testing some hypotheticals here with Hitan and Yasuo, but there's a much shorter active time that, again, is more in line with some other fighters at that like attack grade. So what this has opened up is definitely in a light versus light scenario, it's much easier to kind of counteract your opponent to take the upper hand. There's also some stuff I'm doing with strong attacks and making sure that the reach will hit past a lot of the light attacks. So generally a strong attack will kind of hit past the threat of a light as a common counter. And some other things that I'm tinkering around with. But as part of this, I am kind of going into another review of just the overall frame timings. Obviously, adjusting hit stun means that we kind of need to reevaluate But most of these adjustments are going to be very minor. Add a frame here or there, subtract a frame here or there from startup, recovery, active, and that kind of thing. So I'm working my way through that, and in theory, other than some like final outliers we see in playtesting it up to release, this is most likely going to be our foundational balance pass for release. So once that's kind of locked down, I'll be doing another pass of kind of tuning in the AI a little bit more, accounting for that.
The AI still needs some tweaking, but it's looking much better.
Yes. So yeah, that's a lot of where my focus is right now. And I think that pretty much covers most of the game updates For now.
So one thing that I also do want to kind of update is we also now have an Instagram page. So you'll notice at
we got a lot of questions about that.
You'll notice at the bottom of the screen which we now show our Instagram. It's a live page. I haven't posted anything yet because I'm still kind of building it, but I'm going to be posting pictures of the game and the studio and kind of what our semi-daily life looks like when we're here. So please go on Instagram, give us a follow. We'd love the support there. And that's going to go ahead and put me into this one for what's next. In regards to kind of our streaming schedule and all that. So one thing is the hot topic right now. I'm not talking about the store with burn down the hot topic. Is Twitch. So for those of you who know, Twitch is implementing a new terms of service effective on the 1st of July, where they are not allowing you to simulcast or simultaneously stream to multiple platforms. That's like for us. That is key for us because we have several channels that we want to get everybody updated on Konsui Fighter. So for them to limit us to basically one channel without having to or without breaking the terms of service, I don't think we will be streaming to Twitch again until they change that. That rule used to be for partner and affiliate, which I get. I get that. If you're affiliate or partner, that makes sense. But as a regular streamer who doesn't have who's not you're not associated with Twitch in any way.
We're not getting any money from any of these platforms.
Right. So it's silly. So
this is really to give you guys the lowdown on how we're progressing on whatever platform you choose to use. But we want to be able to reach as many of you as we can. And being limited just to Twitch and not being able to retain our history of streams on Twitch, it's just not the kind of experience we're looking for the channel.
So our next stream, I don't want to say we won't, but I will say that I doubt that we will be streaming on Twitch. So please follow us on our other channels. Like I said, we just started a Kick, so you can follow us there.
Our YouTube has all the history.
Right. YouTube has everything that we do that. And then if you follow us on Facebook, this is actually the first time I've been able to get our video stream on Facebook, so we'll actually have all those on our Facebook page as well. That's the biggest kind of what's next in regards to our streaming and social media. I will be posting more here soon with just different topics, and I want to get I need to get some feedback on some stuff. So again, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
the usual.
The usuals, and we look forward to communicating with you then. What's next in regards to kind of my world is we have a few events that we are Slated to, well, we have one that we've tried out or that we applied for. Another one that we're in talks to go to. One of the ones that we're in talks to go to right now is we're in Kansas City, and Kansas City has a comic book convention that's called Planet Comic Con. It's surprisingly big, and they get a lot of really big people for our region, which is pretty neat. But they are working on they're working on an anime convention that's starting this year that they're calling Planet Anime KC. And I have been in talks with them for us to be able to be in there to showcase Konsui Fighter in their gaming area. So they seem very interested, so I don't want to say that we're going to be there, like, for sure, but it sounds like we are. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, it's another really great way to kind of commute or to meet up with our local community. But I mean, because people come all over the Midwest to this area, so
it's kind of the only thing in this entire area. So
yes, I am going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Unless so, my buddy Alan is in the chat, and so the other thing that is, and I don't know if he's referencing that, is we have applied to be in. For those of you who watch a YouTuber named The Completionist, he has a charity event at the end of the year, usually every year, that's called Indieland, and it is it's a charity stream. It's like a 72 hours charity stream, and we have applied to be a part of that. So I'm hoping that we're going to be there. I think that's going to be really, really cool, and it's going to give us an opportunity to hang out with other indie developers, because we kind of miss hanging around other people like us, because the last time it was PAX South, and that was in 2020. And PAX South isn't a thing anymore. So
plus we get to show it off to a new community and like get more feedback. So it'll be fun.
Anything we can do to keep Alan from getting sleep is
right.
So.
So those are the two big things there. I'm also working on our Discord page. So again, follow us on our social media channels to get update when that goes live. And I think that's all I have for me as far as what's next.
I guess we don't have a next stream scheduled yet. We have a couple things coming up personally.
I was going to say, so you guys are going to be out of town for an event.
So we're going to... Yep.
Oh God, where's the you guys?
This guy over here.
You guys.
And this guy. We're going to be going to Anime Expo in Los Angeles. That is a week from today, actually. July 1st to the 4th. So I'm looking forward. We're not going there as a part of Cersei Studios or Konsui Fighter.
It's very expensive.
Right.
It would be neat, but it's very expensive.
But so we're just kind of going. Me, my fiance Sean, and my buddy Chase are going because they really like anime. And
I do too, but I have a potential
excuses.
Obligation. That is most of the reason why I'm not going this
Maybe next
time.
year.
Maybe I do. I really do want to go.
I mean,
we're even going to a theme park.
Yeah,
you're missing out.
Theme parks. Let's see. Other than that,
Gen Con after that, but that's another month.
Gen Con is in August, but that's not, again, that's definitely not an event that we're looking at just because that's specifically board games.
But we'll also be out for like a week. So.
Right, So I could probably say safely our next one would be the end of August.
Sure. Unless we tried somewhere in middle July, but we'll see.
Right. But you know how you can find out though? You follow us on our social media channels, and you can, and that will What's your favorite ride at Knott's? Ghost Rider. I'm going to ride the hell out of Ghost Rider. I'm going to ride it so many times that all y'all are going to be so tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. I don't do roller coasters, people.
But
for some reason, when it comes to wooden roller coasters, I apparently just like the abuse.
Yeah, that one's brutal.
Because that one beats the crap out of you. And I don't know why, but I love it, and I look forward to riding it a bunch of times.
Okay. I think you need to try the suspended one if you like brutal.
What was that? The Silver Bullet? Was that one?
Maybe? Yeah.
So the Patriots, they won here,
Pa-
right?
No, but there was Silver Bullet was one.
I think so.
I think that was at Knott's. That's
Yeah.
the like suspended one on a
That has like
metal-
loops and stuff.
Yeah.
It's aggressive because it's fast, but being a metal coaster, it's actually pretty smooth the whole time.
I've
So I
never...
want to try that again.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm a little...
Not if your stomach's
You're
feeling off.
locked
But
in though.
yeah,
in that.
it's
I'm a little,
very safe feeling, but
I'm a little kiddie when it comes to that. I don't want to do that.
I think we did. Well, like I said, I think last time we did that Mayan one like multiple times.
Yeah. Jaguar?
Yeah.
The Jaguar, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. That one's really not that, like...
No.
No.
I like that it goes all around the park. Too.
Right.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
interesting.
I remember that, and one of the other ones was a little tight, but.
What about you, Alan? What's your favorite? Which one are you going... Which one am I not going to go on with you? Because I'm sure you're probably going to pick one that's going to be not one. Like if you say what, the accelerator... My fiance, I think... I feel bad because I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure my fiance said that she really likes the, like, hydraulic push ones.
The
launch
launch?
coasters?
Yeah, launch
Well,
coasters.
That one's
different
electromagnetic.
styles.
Yeah, I think.
Well, it's the ones that basically you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
launch.
Yeah.
And thank you, Alan. Then you and I, we're going to be in the same cart. We're
There
going to
you go.
ghost ride it all up. Okay, thank you, Basil, for clarifying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so there's
I
one
like launch coasters.
there's one that there,
Mhm.
Basil, that I know Brad likes it,
I did it last time with Brad.
and
Yeah.
so you basically like go,
Yeah,
you just go
0 to 60 in
And
like
then
2 or 3 seconds.
right,
Yeah.
and then you just go basically straight up, and it's like this big
Go
circle
over
or
and
like
then
big
down,
loop,
and there's
right.
like a big turn. It's very short, and you get like just a crap load of air because like my bar wasn't all the way down, and I swear I got like a few inches off the seat. I was like, oh, good thing there's a bar. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
But anyways,
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
one thing.
No,
Look at all the fun you're gonna miss.
Yep.
I know. No, believe me. I
Oh, I
I
like.
didn't time this on purpose,
Uh-huh.
just for the record.
I do like the horse one, but I wish that was longer. That's why I'm
Yeah.
kind of looking forward to the.
That
Tron
was
one.
a launch one,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it? It's just an EM launch.
It's also
But
just
yeah.
neat to be like
Yeah.
in a different.
Oh
position.
yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
that's.
I
yeah.
did hear in that vein, the Tron one in Orlando finally
It
like
is open.
fully open
Yeah,
to the public
yeah.
recently. Because I guess they were doing like an extended period of like
Testing.
preview
Sure.
rides only. But that one's similar to that, just bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pony Express.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Pony Express.
It's just neat
I
because it's
also-
different. It's
right.
very short.
Right.
And I don't know.
It's
I-
like riding a
nothing
motorcycle,
crazy, but
kinda.
it's just the novelty of it
Yeah.
being kind of a different cart. That's why I think you guys would like the Hagrid's
Oh,
coaster in
yeah.
Orlando, because it's got different seats.
Hmm. Well, and it tries some different things like going backwards and all that. So yeah.
But yeah,
Well, anyways,
Let's go on for 3
Yeah,
hours.
so
talking
what
about theme
else
parks.
what else do we have working on?
cooking. I mean, the only other big thing is the Steam page. So we don't have an exact timeline. I think I'm going to try to pick up looking at it a little bit more over the next week or two, because looking at our checklist, I think most of what's left is actually more some of the back end setup stuff.
Sure.
And
And I know
for
we
the
have
product
things like
configuration.
we need new screenshots, new trailer
Right.
cuts potentially.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're gonna at least get the page up with the trailer that we have now.
Sure,
And
as
I'll
a start.
update it later.
Yeah.
We do need to refresh it because we've done a quality pass. since
Exactly.
then,
Yeah.
so
We did a
all
new
of
trailer
the-
eventually.
all of the gameplay footage is now like lower quality than the actual game.
Yep.
But yeah,
At least to have a presence. And,
yeah. But yeah.
Yep.
I don't think there's too much else game-wise for now.
Yeah.
So
We have some internal stuff that we're still working on, but
Yeah.
you'll get updates on that as we go. Yeah.
All right. Well, the last thing is, not necessarily pertaining too much to Konsui Fighter, but I would say the industry as a whole. And that is, I guess we're still kind of in this time because there's still like one-off events that are happening. So
I think all the major ones are done now that Nintendo did theirs, but yeah.
But the Summer Game Fests or the new E3, if you will, has been going on, and just wow, there's a lot. There's a lot coming out. All of that.
October, November is just going to be nuts.
No, not even that. Like September.
September too,
alone is just packed full.
Yeah.
Like
I think there's like 5 games coming out in that middle October part. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. Going to find more time somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, I guess what were some of everybody's highlights from the stuff that's been announced? That things that you're definitely like interested in.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it is during the PlayStation showcase, which I mean, I like PlayStation, all right, but
I do as well.
The showcase was very meh.
It was a little rough.
Yeah, a little bit weaker than it could have been. I think a lot of their main teams have already released a game, so I think they're just kind of waiting on their next projects. But yeah,
no worries, Hill. Welcome, DJ, huh? But let's see. So within the PlayStation Showcase, my biggest thing with that, I mean, it was only like a week left until it came out, which was Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
So I have been playing. I played a little bit of it this morning. I watched my fiance. So I was gonna wait to play it until I got back from the X. But everyone has to peer pressure me and be like, "Oh, aren't you playing it now?" Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I watched my fiance play it for 3 hours on Thursday when it came out, and so that basically, to me, after I was done, I'm like, God. Try it. And so I actually started playing it this morning.
I will, but I've been putting it off as well. So.
But
if anything, I'm disappointed because I want the PC version, but it's going to be like a year.
I'm not. The only thing from the PlayStation Showcase that I kind of cared about was I didn't force you.
Yeah, we did. We also teased him yesterday.
I mean, I think you did force me, but it was like
peer pressure through doing it.
It was like it was like subconscious. You were forcing me, right? Like you didn't like hold me down.
I was blatant about it because I was telling Sean, I'm like, I think there's something wrong with Logan.
No. It was for you, Basil, was you weren't gonna do it. You were like, now I don't know, and I was like, no, I know that you want to, and you just need that little push.
It's a circle of blame.
So
here. I
was like, all right, if you do it, I'll sit there with you. That's really what it was. So inadvertently, yes, you did force me. But anyways, so the one thing from the PlayStation Showcase that I really cared about was that. So you forced me. No,
see, circle of blame.
I like persuaded you to do it.
Somebody's gonna be in trouble when you get home.
Yeah, just keep digging that hole. No, I'm just.
Wait, where's the ban button? No, I'm
just
kidding. I won't do that.
Wow.
I'm gonna finish this game that I'm trying to think of, but it's that like. It's the one that it was like a China setting, and it looked...
kind of a Souls, but
right.
China mythology type of thing.
The couch is mighty. But that's really the only one from the PlayStation Showcase that I cared about because I didn't Like Spider-Man 2, yes, it looks cool.
It'll be good.
But
It'll be
I
good.
like I haven't played the first one. And I'm
Right.
just not a big comic book person, so like I
Right.
don't care.
I still think you would like those specifically, just because
Yeah.
they are Insomniac and they're really.
I mean,
good
right? I
open
like
world-
Insomniac as a
Right.
Studio.
developer.
Yeah.
So,
Even outside of the Spider-Man theme,
Yeah,
like
they're just solid to play.
the open world gameplay is pretty good.
Mhm.
But,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah,
There's a lot of like decent indies or slightly bigger than indie stuff they showed, but that was about it.
Basil says Alan Wake.
Oh yeah,
I
Alan
know.
Wake's gonna be good.
I know that she's super excited for that.
Mhm. I should have brought a list.
Right. I actually meant to. I didn't realize setting all of this up was going to take me so long because I
That's
was going to
okay.
have a list ready. But
Yeah, we have new setups. So.
For me, Avowed. Also,
Avowed.
at least so
Yeah.
that was the PlayStation. I guess we haven't left the PlayStation One.
Sure.
Right.
So out of the PlayStation One,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was your
Oh.
guys's?
See, it's hard to remember that one because that was first.
I was gonna say I don't. This tells you the problem. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not even
yeah.
remembering a whole lot from it that was like.
There were good things.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
can
had
think of
less
other-
that stuck out to me there. I mean, I
guess-
have no doubt.
All right,
Sony's
here's
gonna have
here's
some
the
things.
list.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Spider-Man 2,
Mhm.
Metal Gear Solid
I
Delta
just
Snake
remembered that.
Eater.
So, as a big Metal Gear Solid fan, I think it's interesting that they're trying to remake it. I kind of don't trust them. So we'll see how that is because it was all cutscenes. The screenshots look very faithful, so I'm hopeful from that. But it's just Konami as
Wait
a whole.
and see.
Yeah, I kind of want to wait and see.
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Assassin's Creed should be decent.
So I've never played an Assassin's Creed. I wanted to play Origins and Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I know that those aren't really like true Assassin's
Well,
Creed
they
from
were
like.
sort of a new
Yeah,
direction.
But this
right?
one looks like it's kind of going more towards how it used to be.
Yeah,
And I kind of like that assassin type stuff.
the stealthy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think you'd be too into the stealth.
No, I mean, like whenever I played like Deus Ex, I always did
True.
the stealth
Yeah.
hack. And same thing with Cyberpunk.
Mhm.
That's all I did was stealth. Now, when it came to World Assassination, Hitman,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hitman's just
that
so
was more
good.
just my patience was getting.
Yeah. Hitman's good, but like there's just so much to that game.
And I was pissed
so many ways to
because
do it.
there's like, oh, there's so many ways you could do it. I'm like, well, the one way I did it, apparently I broke it because I killed the person before
Yeah.
somebody else had to drop something or
So
whatever.
it wasn't in PlayStation because of, I think, licensing and whatnot. But I am curious. The Hitman team is working on that 007 game.
Yeah.
And they haven't shown that yet. That'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it.
Alan Wake 2.
that team always does great stuff.
Final Fantasy 16. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
I kind of wanted to play it back in the day. I heard good things, bad things. It's kind of gotten a cult following now, and that one looks like a really good version of a sequel to it. So I'm hopeful for that.
Yeah.
Has some cool mechanics.
I feel like I feel like I rented the first one
Yeah.
on what's that service?
Oh.
Game something. The one where they mail it to you.
Yeah.
Um,
The older one that's
yeah.
probably not around.
the old Netflix
Yeah.
of renting games.
Yep.
Um,
Gamefly? Is it?
Gamefly, and
Yeah,
yes, it
yeah,
is
yeah.
still a thing.
Yeah,
Oh, it
it's
is?
definitely
Wow.
still a thing.
Okay.
Because there were people
There's a
who
lot
were
of people that
finally
still-
that were saying, "Thank you." To who? Wait, did one of you guys see Alan say that?
No,
Or-
no. I
okay.
just
Yeah.
I was trying to
Well,
remember
there
all
you
the
go,
ads
Alan.
for it
Yes,
back in the
yes,
day.
Gamefly. And no, because there were people. There was somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, I finally tried." I think it was the new Zelda game because they were
Oh.
able to get it off of Gamefly because it was
Sure.
gone for so long.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, "Wow, Gamefly's still a thing."
Yeah. Yep.
It should be, but yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I tried to do Dragon's Dogma 1 from
Mm-hmm.
Gamefly. And I didn't get it. I couldn't get into it. Maybe
Yeah.
I need to just try it again.
It's very different, but they try some interesting things. Like you can climb on monsters. The spells are actually kind of like realistic, so you can catch things on fire and stuff.
Bungie announced a new marathon,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which for those of you who aren't familiar, which I wasn't when I first heard about this, is apparently this is a game It's a remake of
Yeah,
a
it's one of their first games.
their first game, which was Marathon, that was released on Mac
Yeah.
in 1992.
Yep. The Halo people started on Mac.
And this is supposed to be like a new PvP shooter.
But it's like extraction and like other stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that at all. Like the first Marathon was supposed to have like a really good story and single player, and they're just not doing that. So
Right.
the style and music seem cool, but I'm not interested in the.
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah,
It's on my wish list.
Yep.
And
it's been really good. I've seen people playing bits of it.
yeah, I put it on my Steam wish list because I feel like that's another one where I would probably just play it on my Steam Deck or something.
Yeah. It can be kind of casual. They have like a whole story mode now and stuff.
Let's see. That was the one thing, is there was a lot of just like cinematic trailers.
There was a
of
lot
this,
at Sony.
so there wasn't really too much of like foam stars. I'm not gonna play it. I guess I kind of understand its purpose of existing.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It's trying to fit that market, and it's.
Yeah.
I think it's almost more Japan because like Splatoon is just huge in Japan. So
It's
like
huge
I'm surprised
here,
they're not.
though.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
yeah,
it's gone on for years, and it's still one of like Nintendo's biggest franchises now.
Yeah.
So I can see why they wanted to make a game like it, but
The Plucky Squire, which was that interesting 2D, but like
in the real world.
kind of thing.
They've been showing that for a little bit.
I was gonna say we've seen it before, but it really is coming together.
Yeah, it's looking
for
good.
sure. That's gonna be a good one.
Phantom Blade Zero is the one that I was trying to think of.
Phantom Blade Zero.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's supposed to be like a hack and slash RPG.
It almost reminds me
good.
of the one with what's his name? The Journey West or whatever, like the monkey that's doing kung fu and stuff that they showed like a year or two ago. That's like developed by like a couple of people. Like, but yeah, it's another like Chinese mythology kind of influence.
Ghost Runner 2.
Yeah.
Never played the first Ghost Runner, but I mean, like, it looks neat.
It's very different from that because this one's like more of an open world. But yeah, it's an interesting visual style.
Helldivers 2, which to me, when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was the Starship Troopers
Definitely
extraction game that just came out.
I heard good things about the first one, though. So.
But yeah. Resident Evil 4 VR.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the biggest miss. They had 2 VR games.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I love the PSVR 2, but man, they're really just not doing a very good job of like pushing it as a platform.
Yeah. I think they were hoping other studios would just pick it up, but like it's a big investment for a lot of these big studios.
Well, and it is interesting because there's a lot of back catalog on other platforms that in theory should be able to be brought over. So it begs the question, and some of it has. Yeah. But like, why aren't people?
My only other guess is that like a lot of the better, more recent ones have been published by like Meta and Oculus.
Some of them.
So yeah, but I just don't know if they have like exclusivity contracts or something.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a lot of great VR games on Steam. Yeah. Even just like simple little things.
And like there are some good, solid games on PSVR too. It's just I feel like Sony has not captured the messaging of like.
Well, and they had years to plan.
Right.
Like, it would have been nice to.
They're just not putting it front and center and really like.
I mean, they put it in their showcase, but it was just like 2 games. So
yeah,
but
like RE4 VR is huge.
Oh yeah,
like the Quest version was really good, and that was running the original graphics and setup. This is going to be the full remake redone for that, so it ought to be really
once, because Basil said that she would buy me one. I don't know if that's still on the table, but. Because the one that I'm looking forward to is Crossfire looks good.
Yes.
Crossfire.
Oh, Firewall.
But the Firewall
Yeah.
is the other one that I think that's what I would
We
prefer.
did have a lot of fun with Firewall on PSVR 1.
Yeah.
So, and it is still kind of like coming soon.
Sure. Okay.
So.
Yeah, even like Bone Labs and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I have to imagine they're working
they've
on
gotta
porting
be
it,
working
and
on
that version is going to be really good
Mhm.
once that's a thing.
Yeah. We'll see.
But yeah,
Even just simple integrations like Gran Turismo worked great.
yes,
So.
I really liked the way that PT.
All right,
runs
I
on
lied.
there.
There were 4
Oh,
PSVR.
I thought there were some smaller ones.
It still wasn't like
They had a thing on Crossfire,
Mhm.
right.
Arizona Sunshine,
Oh,
That's right.
Beat Saber,
Yes.
and Synapse.
Beat Saber's great, but it's everywhere.
Well,
I'm not
it's everywhere,
surprised.
and honestly, it should have been there day one.
It should have.
Like, it's just more weird that it wasn't there on day one.
My
as a
only guess
staple.
is that Sony just didn't seed enough dev units to people
Yeah.
early enough.
I
But
don't know.
we'll see. Hopefully next
But
year they'll have more.
The hardware is incredible.
Yes.
And I still contend that for what you get,
Mhm.
the price is fairly reasonable compared to other headsets. in
Yeah,
the market.
overall it's a good deal.
I get that for somebody who doesn't have a PlayStation or doesn't have VR and doesn't really know the market, it seems really expensive. But for the feature set you're getting, it's actually pretty good.
One
But
thing it's nice.
it is still expensive.
Is it's not $3,500.
Exactly.
Because you
Yeah.
could also get a really nice TV. and-
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really nice TV
Yeah.
at $3,500.
Well,
Yeah.
3,500 minus the PS5 and
Oh,
the
right,
VR
right.
headset. But yeah, that's still a nice
Still.
TV.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I did start RE8 on there, which overall is really good. It's interesting because there's a few little bits of polish
Mhm.
that I feel like they could add that they had in 7 on 1.
Mhm.
So we'll see if they ever tweak any of that. I doubt it, but really, I want them to bring 7 over.
Yeah.
It is a sin
'Cause they
that
already
do
did it.
not have that on PSVR 2
I was
yet, and they
assuming-
haven't confirmed it.
Yeah.
So
Unless they don't want to put in the work for like the textures, but like just use the
they
PC
did
version.
though. They
Yeah.
already did because
Oh,
we
so-
got the actual PS5 version.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
recently. So a lot of people kind of assumed like, hey,
Huh.
like that should be an easy. I
Maybe it's
think,
how they did their VR.
I think they're going to do it, but they're probably going to wait a little bit
Sure.
to save it until after
as
some of
another
the-
announcement.
right?
Okay.
Like next year or
Yeah.
something, or after 4.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
What were the other announcements? So we
Uh,
had Jeff Keighley's.
they're right. I was like, that was. I mean, there were other PlayStation ones, but it was just kind of
Yeah.
like
Those are all the big ones.
right. So for Summer Game Fest, that was the next one.
Yeah.
We had Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Yep.
I'm actually interested in that just
yeah.
because
I think it's interesting. It's more like a 2D, 3D.
Metrovania.
Yeah.
Metrovania. What did I say?
Metro.
He's in the Metro. The
Yeah.
Metroid.
Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Metroidvania game. I never really played the old ones, but it was kind of one of those like, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed where it's like, I wanted to do it, but I just never did.
A lot of them are pretty solid
and
games. It's just, yeah.
Prince of Persia I never did, but this
Yeah.
one looks kind of neat. And
Yep.
then when they showcased it more at Ubisoft, I was like, yeah, I mean that looks pretty fun. And
Mhm.
I think it also just looks like a game where I can beat quickly.
Yeah. You're
Like,
not
I don't-
dedicating a whole bunch of
I'm
time.
not doing Final Fantasy time or Cyberpunk time where it's like over 100 hours.
Yep.
Um,
And all these complicated stories. Yep.
So there was that. Mortal Kombat 1,
Yeah.
I'm super stoked for.
Looking really good.
I'm going to be getting that for sure on
Yep.
Steam, and I'm going to meet Shane. Let's see, then the release date for Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure that was October.
Yeah,
so,
that's another one of the ones that's in that period.
Sonic Superstars. I mean, I really like Sonic, and
Yep.
this is a cool looking like co-op-y for.
Yep.
I think so. Now I finally get it because I didn't put the kind of correlation, but I think I'm curious how much this is going to play similar to like Mario Party or
Right.
Mario Brothers, like the new Mario Brothers
Super
game.
Mario Brothers.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
For the multiplayer.
Yeah.
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 I'd be
So,
curious.
but looking forward to that.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like Sonic just kind of needs to stick with 2D for a while. Like, I think the last one was okay.
The last 3D one's not
but-
bad.
yeah.
But
it's been a long
they've-
streak of like not
They've
quite
had
hitting
a
what they need
very hard time at getting 3D Sonic to work
Yeah.
well over the years.
to. Plus, I assume these are just easier to make anyways, because like you still have to make the environments and whatnot, but you can make it in the structure of a 2D game. So.
Right.
But hey, if you need to,
Three.
have Sonic merch,
Yes.
like they'll put
Oh,
that they'll
yeah.
put that shit on anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had red Crocs.
Right. So Sonic's birthday stream was yesterday, to kind of go away from the Game Fest for a second. But they have Sonic Crocs coming out. There's a Sonic, another like clothing line cross Sonic. So it's I've never heard of it, but they're like, oh yeah, it's big in LA, and I'm out of touch with
clearly
my
we're not-
fashion
yeah.
from LA, but
Logan, you're losing it.
I know.
You're losing it, buddy.
Legos.
there's,
Those would be cool.
Yeah, the Lego sets,
Lego
which
sets.
look neat. But
Yeah.
the concert, which
Yeah.
is coming here, so I'm super
Yeah.
excited for
We're
it.
gonna try to do the concert.
Let's see. Like a Dragon,
Oh, yeah.
the man
fun
who
trailer.
erased his name.
Yeah, those games are crazy.
Infinite
What's
Web.
insane to me is I didn't realize they had like 2 or 3 games going right now.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
but it is one of their bigger franchises now. Like,
Yeah.
That's done really well. It was on sale recently on GOG, so I got like the first 6 or 7 games for
Yeah.
$30,
Mhm.
which is each one is like 100 hours. So that's a lot of game.
Yeah. I think I meant to look into that.
Yeah, they're fun.
Star Trek Infinite, which I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
really look too much into, but
It was
our
CG,
Star Trek
so,
person over here,
Yeah, I'm curious about
I
it.
forgot that I need to
Uh-huh.
I need to mirror my camera so that when I do
Yeah.
this, it'll be
Unless
correct.
you have text on your shirt, then it'll be.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
It looks like a fancy version of Left 4 Dead.
Right.
It feels like nothing has quite got the magic of Left 4 Dead since then, but we'll see.
Sandland,
Oh yeah,
which is that like I don't know the artist's name, but
the guy who drew
the
Dragon
Ball.
Quest and Dragon Ball.
Yep.
He likes dragons.
Pal World, which is that weird Pokemon with guns game.
It's just so weird.
Um,
I'm at least curious to see what happens from it.
It's
Yeah.
on. It's gonna be on Game Pass, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it, but I'm not. I doubt that I'm gonna invest too much time unless it's just like this is so ridiculous. I have to keep going.
That's
Yeah.
another one where like all we've seen is like CG stuff, so I'm curious what the
Yeah.
gameplay is like. But
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which was a
Yeah.
mobile game
Right.
that when they came out with, I don't remember. It was. I feel like it was with PSP, but they came out with Ever Crisis, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus. It was all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And Ever Crisis was a mobile only game, which back then
yeah,
was weird just because there weren't that many mobile games at that time.
again,
And
I think it was bigger in Japan.
And
but-
I think it only came out in Japan.
Oh, okay. I know one of them did. Yeah.
Because it never came here. So this is like a re-release of that. It's got updated graphics and all that.
Yeah.
Um,
I loved his troll after that. Speaking of,
Yeah.
no, not that. And then he went to an ad.
Uh-huh.
Banishers, which they didn't really show too much other than I think it was just the date, the
They
release date.
they showed more gameplay, or at least in-engine stuff. Because first thing was just like a
the
CG
trailer.
teaser.
That's
Yeah.
right. When they were like eating soup.
Yeah. Well, one of them was because the other was a ghost.
For me, it didn't really show too much, but Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Big
still gonna
fan
be
of Baldur's
awesome.
Gate. I got the collector's edition. I now have to figure out where the hell I'm going to put that figure.
Yep.
I am running out of space, people.
You need to buy a new house. Just have a figure room.
Yep.
Have you suspended any from the ceiling?
I was going to do that with Gundams. I still think it's a good idea.
I would do that with that Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
That Sonic plane would be pretty sweet. And have like little rings there too. That'd be fun.
Or you could make it like the bonus level and have it like rotated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Path of Exile 2, which
I've played hours of the first one. It's a very, if you like Diablo, it's a very good Diablo-like.
Right.
So, and it's free to play.
You know what's funny? I would probably play Path of Exile 2 a lot more if Diablo 4 didn't just come out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I would say Path of Exile is definitely more like visually and whatnot Diablo 2, but it has a lot more mechanics. The visuals look great. Their skill tree is this insane like tree of skills, but like yeah, it's fun to play. You don't need to do cosmetics. It's great.
Exoprimal, which I don't. They didn't really show Exoprimal. They just showed the cross between that with Street Fighter.
I think
They
I know
teased
that
it a couple times.
I know that
during their
Yeah,
right,
Capcom-
which I didn't watch that because
They talked about it a lot, and then they had a whole segment on like new stuff coming up. But
Lies of P.
yeah, they had a demo.
Yeah,
I need to try the demo. I'm curious
I
about it.
downloaded the demo and
Yeah.
I do want to try it, but
I've
even
heard good
though
things.
I don't like,
At least from what I've seen, it is not as hard as like a Souls-like. It still is a little hard, but yeah, there's some mechanics that make it not quite as brutal. I'll be
Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Yeah, yeah, showed a little bit of that.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Just because Shane and I played that when it came out on PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And
one.
the first one, and that was a lot of fun. So I'll definitely be getting this one. Dead by Daylight with
Oh yeah. Nick Cage.
Nicolas
Oh yeah,
Cage.
and they had him
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
They had him on stage. It was really weird because like they showed the gameplay, and maybe they didn't want to show it so that you can be surprised, but he didn't do anything Nicolas Cagey in the game except for the last part.
I think it's just like his lines and stuff. And he's a survivor. I didn't realize because a lot of people assumed he was just going to be another monster.
I mean, that would be funny.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it'll be fun. Those games are interesting. I've seen people play them.
Yeah. I mean, I've played Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was actually shocked how well he handled that thing on stage.
Yeah.
Like he seemed happy to be there. He wasn't that crazy. Like that was actually one of the better guest appearances. So
Yeah.
but yeah. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing.
Immortals of Avium, which
Yep.
was that
Oh,
weird
the
like
magic.
Battle Mage
Magic.
first
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could turn out to be interesting.
I like some stuff they're saying about it. Like they're focusing on single player. Like they're trying to build their own world.
The people that made this are the people that were like they've worked on COD before.
Yeah.
So like I'm not really worried about the first person shooter aspect because
Yeah.
I think they'll have that. But at least when they were playing it, there was a lot going on.
Yes.
And I feel like it's like
The story seems a little generic to me, but I
you
guess
know
we'll
you're
see.
you're magic blasting everything.
Yeah, lots of colors.
And there's like there's effects everywhere. So I'm like I'm trying to focus on killing you.
Yep.
But half of my screen is all this like.
Yep.
And so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. They may adjust the visual.
Yeah. I'm hopeful for it. We'll see. Anything else big from that?
No, not according to this list.
Yeah.
Well, I guess 6. Or sorry, because I skipped it because it was the very first thing. But 7 Rebirth.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know, that's a whole nother
Obviously.
conversation.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
You know, where's the story? Is it a different timeline? What is?
It
God,
looks
there's just so
semi-open world, but it's hard to tell.
It
Yeah.
it is. I mean, what's nice is when you look at it, like you know the air. Like for those of you who are like
I've
Final
seen
Fantasy
side-by-side shots. and
7
it's-
fans,
Didn't finish
No.
part 1, right?
I
But
did.
You have, and I know what happens at the end.
yeah.
So I would vouch for that theory. I think they're going to go more into that because it makes.
Yeah, and I think they'll probably do another deep dive like they did for the first part of 7 Remake. They'll probably give it like half an hour or whatever just to.
You really should
changed.
finish it.
I really need
that
to.
That would explain a lot more of where their mind is and how they're going to handle the rest of it.
But I could also see, like, it didn't look open world to me because they were kind of following a path. But from what I've seen of, like, 16, they do a good job of, like, the world is open. It just has these really cinematic areas that just look amazing. So I think it's possible. I just don't know, if you'll get the entire world yet. Like, maybe they'll have just certain areas.
I have a potential worry about 16.
Yeah.
And again, Basil would, I would have to talk to Basil / I would just have to keep playing. But there's a lot of cutscenes.
There's a lot of long cutscenes.
So what I'm worried about is that, like, this is the ratio between cutscenes and playing the game is like 2 to 3 to 1, and I'm like, that might turn me off a lot.
Yeah,
I'm sure the game is going to be. I'm sure it's beautiful, or I know that it's beautiful.
You know the story, you know it's gonna be good.
But if that's the route they're going, I'm very curious. Okay, Basil says it's better. Okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering, because they did that in 15 as well.
Ellen, I'll be curious what your thoughts on this, but one of the critiques I have heard is that while it is open and gorgeous, it is very linear.
Yes.
Like, it's almost or at par with, like, 13.
Oh, okay.
Like, very linear, which some people don't care, but I know that was a big criticism of 13.
There was an issue with 13. 13 later had hallways, though, but
this, I've heard numerous people say it's, like, at that level.
I've heard there's, like, some fetch quests and stuff, too.
Basil says yes.
Yeah.
I don't mind linear. It's fine.
I don't
For me,
that
it's
much,
the more
as
of...
long as it's done...
You do a battle, watch a 20-minute cutscene.
Right.
Do another fight, do another cutscene. And I'm
like
like,
to see
you're going to take me out of this thing a lot, and I might get turned off.
Yeah.
I know that I
mean, if it's done well, that's fine.
There's too many open world recently.
For linear. I'd be curious what you think of, like, Metal Gear 4, because there's, like, 20-minute cutscenes in that. So you basically just set down the controller.
But yes, 7 Rebirth. I want give me the best, biggest collector's edition.
Yet another figure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all I was thinking about during the trailer was like, okay, well, great. So there's another Turk, so there's another figure there. There's
I assume they'll have new versions of the current characters.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that I kind of wish that I could redo is I would assume that they're going to come out with Yuffie in her, like, regular clothes. So, like, they had her in her regular clothes in the trailer.
Right.
And I have the Yuffie from the Intergrade.
Right.
Which she's wearing, like, this, like, poncho type thing. And I'd rather have that one. But, oh well, it's too late.
So what other characters do you think they'll have in this, like Vincent or Katsu?
Kate's, well, so at least with where they go to, you have to see Kate's at some point.
I thought so, because he's fairly early on.
So I'm curious how they're going to design him, because if it's going to be a really big... I
wonder if they'll make it more mechanical or realistic looking, because that was always kind of vague in the original game.
But, she's commenting on Metal Gear that's a movie that you occasionally play.
I mean, it's still a very good game, but it's very.
So the characters that are left are Kate Sith, Vincent, Sid.
Yeah.
So I would not be shocked if they come out with a Hojo. Because they have Rufus. I'm actually kind of surprised they haven't come out with Scarlet yet. Like all of the Shinra people, I would assume that they're probably going to come out with them maybe. But,
we'll see.
I feel like that's it. Now I'm like mentally trying to like figure out all the names.
The mic. Yeah.
Put your arms. Oh, sorry.
Probably rubbing, but.
Well, it's probably because it was like up against my.
Yep.
Anyways, my bad. All right.
Why don't you just eat the mic?
Yeah.
All right. So Xbox Showcase.
Probably one of the best ones there.
Yep.
Yep.
Probably my favorite.
Agreed.
Clockwork Revolution.
I'm very much.
Yeah,
looking
very
forward to
Bioshock, but it
Yeah.
looks really good.
Yep.
I dig the branching.
Yeah,
Time travel.
I'm curious if that's going to be
nature of
like
it.
set in stone, like Bioshock was, or if they'll have
So
something where you can make decisions.
They sort of implied that there's sort of two layers of it.
Mhm.
There's key events that you can affect, which
Yeah.
will branch the timeline that affects the structure of the world, and that's probably like so many iterations.
Mhm.
But there's also like local time manipulation for puzzly
I was
/
wondering.
combat
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
There's a few snippets of it in the trailer actually where you'll like do something, rewind time, or like play it back and it does stuff. So yeah,
That'll be fun.
it'll be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it.
City Skylines 2.
Yeah, the first one's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. I'm
And
not.
from what I heard, like a lot of the things that people like
Had
would
issues with?
mod for with
sure.
one to kind of make it a better experience, or other things that were like community sticking points,
Mhm.
they incorporated all of that into
That
2.
was one of their first games,
Yeah.
and it was still
And
amazing,
a lot of
so.
people are saying that 2 is just going to be
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
So it looks really good.
So there you go,
They've
guys.
surpassed SimCity at this point because
Yeah.
just the
Oh, yeah.
sheer amount of details, even like curved streets and stuff. But
Metaphor
Oh.
Fantasio.
that's one I'm
which
really
is
excited for.
That last
The
that Persona 5 team.
Persona 345. So like their like Rockstar team has been working on this for years, and yeah, they did a presentation the other day that I finally watched, and yeah, it's interesting because they're trying to approach it in a different way and still make it a very Atlas style game. So that'll be really interesting, and they're really deep on like story and metaphors and all this crazy stuff. There'll be a lot of interesting mechanics from that.
We'll just stick with Atlas just because we also
Sure.
know the other ones. Persona 5 Tactica.
I'm less interested in that.
See, I think it'll be probably
fine.
more interested in
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
because I like tactics
Yeah.
games.
It's interesting the way they do all those like tie-in games. They're technically separate, so you can kind of play it on your own. You might not get certain references, but they technically are usually in canon. So like even like the fighting game where they cross over
Yeah.
3 and 4, they're technically canon. So there's actual story moments and reasoning of why they're all together. It's kind of interesting. It's not just like, oh, we're just doing this thing now.
And then Persona 3.
Yeah. Persona 3 Remake is going to be amazing because that's another very good game that they had the recent remaster of the graphics, which is pretty nice. The only big complaints I've heard about this one, and I kind of agree, is it's like the original version. Because they eventually had the PSP version, which is the one that they updated recently, that added a lot of story, like a whole mother semester, another main character. But those are not going to be in the remake for some reason. So I don't know if it's coming after.
Not initially. I guarantee they're
So,
going to do that.
yeah.
It's like an update. Later.
Knowing what they do with the Persona games, they're going to release this, and then they're going to release that later as like an upgrade version.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to buy it twice.
Right.
That's like my only complaint with Atlas recently.
Yeah.
But it should
do
be good.
it.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, they add a lot of content. It's just
Yeah.
annoying that like a year later you have to rebuy it.
Yeah.
It's not like even an expansion. It's just a whole new game.
Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty.
Yep.
Really, really looking forward to
Yeah.
that too.
Looking good. I did try it on my PC recently. Just to,
Yeah.
I have it installed and I'm like, now that I have my 4090, it's
Yeah,
like, come on,
yeah.
let's try it.
Yeah.
I had to tweak the graphics a bit, but I got it to a good point. I forgot all the mechanics. I'm gonna have to really dive into it again.
Another Like a Dragon game, The
Mhm.
Infinite Wealth, which
Yep.
was when he like showed up naked on
Yep.
the beach.
That's
that
that
was
one.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great
What I'm
trailer.
assuming is America.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
he showed it. It's an
they've
American.
teased
Looks
that it's
like the
probably
West Coast.
Hawaii.
Oh,
It's
really?
either Hawaii or LA.
Yeah.
So, because there's like palm trees and stuff, and a beach. Yeah, that's kind of the offshoot that's like newer.
Yeah.
The Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a fun one. That
Yeah.
one actually has like turn-based mechanics
Yes.
because they were
I
influenced
really,
by Dragon Quest.
really like a Dragon.
Yeah.
And it just has really good.
Yeah, and actually decent mechanics. Like,
Yes.
those are just good games.
Yeah.
But
Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. This was that like
Yeah.
interesting
Capcom.
Very
game.
like
Japanese mythology.
Japanese mythology.
Interesting
based,
that they didn't really show it. They didn't show it
They
at all
didn't.
that I'm aware of.
So
on
they
Capcom.
in
Yeah.
Capcom's own thing, they just reshowed the trailer and didn't
Okay.
really talk about it. Like
yeah.
they're just showing that for now. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be kind of along the lines of what you expect. So like a single player. The only thing that was odd is like you can see him, the main character, like interacting with other helpers. So they don't even know if it's like turn based or you have like helpers occasionally. So like it's hard to tell what that game will actually be, but
yeah.
like visually looks neat. So it'll be neat.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
Return to Monkey Island, or
Yeah.
The Legend of Monkey Island.
perfect for that game.
So Shane and I, we play Sea of Thieves quite a bit.
Yeah.
I want to join on that one too.
So that should be pretty fun.
Because the Pirates of the Caribbean one was really good.
Yeah.
So,
I actually want to do the Pirates one again.
Yeah. Sometime we should just
those
do
are
that.
free updates too, right?
Yeah.
like
They're
that's,
all
that's
free.
a crazy thing. Is like
That's what
that
I'm
should be an
saying.
expansion.
Yeah, that game's great.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I actually don't mind occasionally giving them a little bit for cosmetics.
They've added a lot.
Because they've done a lot of work.
Mhm.
And, like, honestly, any other game would have charged way more for that content.
Right.
So,
Hellblade 2.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people were, at least the shows that I watched, like a lot of
Yeah.
people were upset because there wasn't any combat.
No,
But I'm like, I feel like this is
that game wasn't really.
super big in like there was
Yeah.
there was
There
combat,
was.
but there's not like that's not what its focus
No,
was.
no.
And this was kind of showcasing more of that story piece of this
Yeah,
game.
and a cinematic moment.
So
Yeah,
I'm not.
It'll-
I mean, I'm not. Like I like it. I like it. Looks neat. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Not my cup of tea. But like Basil really liked the first one. I'm assuming
Yeah.
she'll play this one too. I might watch some of it. So.
I need to play the VR version sometime.
yeah.
But yeah, another trick about that one is I can't remember when we watched it, but if you have headphones on, they're doing the thing again where it's like ASMR, where like
Yeah.
the whispers are coming from like all around you. It's really cool.
Oh, nice.
So
The updates to Fight Simulator 2420. Actually, I don't even know if
No,
it's an
it's
update.
it is
It's a whole new game. Yeah.
Technically, or a new release where they're incorporating all that. That looks incredible too.
Yeah.
I did play a bit of the newer Flight Sim, and it's
Mhm.
fantastic.
And it's hilarious too because they're like, yeah, basically anything you would do with a plane or helicopter is a job. Like we're doing it.
Yeah, like adding sort of a career mode is pretty
Kind of,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And challenge modes and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I wonder if you'll be able to make your own as well, but
Yeah.
because they had a bit of that with the last game, you could like make. They had some challenge things community could make.
Hmm.
Forza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Forza is going to be amazing. I put a lot of time into Forza. So they again had a later presentation. I didn't realize they do like a monthly like Forza talk, and they gave like half an hour to that of like how they're doing like all the mechanics over again. Like as detailed as their physics simulation was before, they rewrote it again, and it's
Right.
now like 10 times better. And like
Nice.
before they would track like one connection point per tire. Now they're
Right.
tracking like
Multiple
5 or
points.
something.
Yeah.
So like even like if part of your tire is like off
Yeah.
the road or
Yep.
wet, like
Yep.
that'll affect your.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Nice.
So, but the nice thing is they also make it so it's not just purely simulation. Like there's a lot of
Right.
things like your money doesn't go towards upgrades anymore. You actually have to use your car to get better at it, and as you level with your car, you can then upgrade, and then you can like trade those parts in and out without having to, as long as you're within your level of budget,
Mhm.
and then you can use your money to buy new cars. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a nice setup for it. So we'll see how that goes.
Avowed.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
super stoked for Avowed
Yep.
Yeah.
because it's Obsidian. I love Obsidian games. I know that there's been some kind of like back and forth that
The visual style.
the visual style of this isn't matching the
They-
cinematic trailer from like 3 years ago.
Somebody
don't
did
e-
comment on that actually.
Yeah, I don't even. For me, it's not even that it didn't match the trailer. It's
Mhm.
just that it looks very
So supposedly,
simple in some style choices.
supposedly the studio didn't cut the entire trailer. They gave
Right.
it to somebody else,
Sure.
and they boosted the colors for one.
It makes sense.
And they
But
just randomly cut random scenes.
all that stuff, like they'll be able to tweak
Yeah.
if they take the feedback, and even then, it's Obsidian. Like
Yeah.
the game's going to be incredible. Like,
It's still very much based in the world they've made like
Yeah.
3 games in, and it's
So-
it's very good.
yeah,
So,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that one. And
It'll be
nobody's
solid.
really done that. Like really made an effort at like a Skyrim like attempt
Not for a
from
while.
from
Yeah.
like any of the other big players. Like
And they
that.
already again have established world and characters and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be a solid game. They're always known for their stories.
South of Midnight,
Oh,
which
Yeah.
was that Compulsions game. There
Cool art
wasn't.
style.
I
Right,
want to
the
see
art's-
more.
Yeah.
It was a concept trailer, and
well, it was in an engine, so that's what the
Yeah.
game will look like supposedly. But
yeah,
no real gameplay,
right.
other than I assume you're like hunting
Right.
monsters or something.
That's the thing is for me, I've kind of gotten to the point where like a concept trailer, a good one, can get me like,
So
okay, I
far.
want to see more, but I can't get too invested anymore because we've just had too many games, especially in recent years, where
Mhm.
like you see a concept and the whole thing ends up being completely different or just
Well,
complete garbage.
Not even knowing what the game really
exactly.
is like.
Like how
weird.
can you really get that into something that's just
Because
now-
what if you're just playing cards the whole time? It's like, well, you didn't
Right.
show that. Like, I don't
Right,
know what this is.
Right. So I don't know, but I mean, that was definitely good for a concept
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
So
Different.
I want to see more at least.
And I'm not always big on the like low frame rate, but they made it in such a
The
way where it
way
looks
they
like.
paced
Yeah.
the low frame. See, that's
Well,
my
and the
thing.
camera was smooth. Was
Yeah.
a trick to it too.
But that's my thing.
Mhm.
Like I've seen like in various media where it's like intentionally low frame rate.
Mhm.
It all comes down to how you're doing the frame pacing.
And the
see,
animations and-
I've
yeah.
seen a lot of people that like just do a fixed frame pace.
Yes.
And that looks bad.
It does.
It really looks bad.
Or they'll lock the camera at that pace, and then
Yes.
like you're moving the camera, it looks just juddery.
Right. So they seem to be doing more intelligent
Mhm.
frame pacing with this, which is good.
Yeah.
Because it definitely
'Cause
shows
You know, it's supposed to be like a claymation type
right.
model thing.
Sort of stop motion.
Yeah. So you have to do that in a certain way, just like 2D animation. You can't just
Yes.
take a 3D model and put a
Right.
shader on it. Now you have to. No, you actually
Right.
have to like warp the animation, right? So we'll see. It looks good so far.
And also, if for those watching, like, yeah, feel free to give us your
Yeah,
opinions
yeah.
on any of these games
Yep.
too. Fable.
Yeah, Fable's gonna be awesome. That nailed the humor.
The
of Fable.
tone was perfect.
Yeah.
I love.
What's his name?
Yeah.
I always just know him from IT Crowd.
Yeah. I love him in everything that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were snippets of what might have been gameplay in there.
They said that
briefly.
was all in engine. So
right,
that is
but
what
like
it looks
actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Richard AOA.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's hilarious because he's actually not that big a geek, but he just plays it perfectly.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, nope, that'll be good. And,
And
obviously,
I
Playground
trust.
is.
Yeah, I trust Playground with that because they've done such a good job with the Horizon
Yeah.
games, and their engine's amazing. So
33 Immortals, which
yeah,
was apparently
a-
it's been getting like everybody who tried it said
Yeah.
that it was really, really good.
they
Yeah.
make good mechanics in their games. So
Yeah, I don't. See, for me, it's just tough because it's like, what do I spend my time on right now? So I'm finding it harder to like invest time in stuff that is like kind of interesting to me. But I don't know. I'll be
and
curious
that's
to see
okay.
what
It's like
people
it's hard to
think.
cover everything.
Yeah.
but it's nice that
Yeah.
at least again it's like a new concept and
Mhm.
Star Wars Outlaws.
oh that
I mean,
looked
they only
very
showed the
good.
trailer, but like
You should
during
watch the Ubisoft.
Well, no.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
like once you got into the Ubisoft one,
Mhm.
then you had the actual gameplay, which that one looks really, really
solid.
good.
Yeah, it looked really good. That's the thing is like Ubisoft gets crap sometimes deserved, but like all their games are at least decent. Like they don't really make bad games. Just they don't make the biggest games necessarily. But yeah, I think everything they showed from that looks so good. Even like visual style things. Like they did one thing where like she walked out and she was wanted, so they like flashed wanted in this really cool way, full screen. Just
Yep.
yeah, or like little interface things. Yeah, looking really good.
And then the last thing, other than like there were some updates on like their like 76 and Elder Scrolls, was Starfield.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking much better. Like, I was going to play it anyways, but the first time they showed it, I had some issues with it, and I was kind of worried it was just going to be like, another Bethesda game. Had some of the same issues that Bethesda games have had for years. But yeah, they've really polished all that stuff.
Yeah, the way they structured the presentation.
That too.
Just the deep dive.
It's very well done, yeah.
How the flow was set up, what they focused on, all of that was immaculately done. Like, it was a very good detailed walkthrough without showing too much like behind the scenes.
They give a little time
to really
each
give
mechanic.
everybody. I think it did a good job of getting everybody on board with what the concept is that they're trying to achieve with the game. How it actually turns out, we'll see. But it seems like it's at least functionally mostly there.
Yeah.
Performance and bugs, we'll have to see. But if they can achieve the concept, it's going to be just a phenomenal.
Yeah. And I know they've had some comments recently, like XCast had Tom Howard.
Yep.
And yeah, there's certain things I think people are not expecting. Like he admitted that, like, it's kind of realistic. So there's going to be a lot of planets that are just empty, no life.
Well,
which is realistic.
Empty of life, but there's other things to do there.
Yeah,
resource gathering.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like you're going to go to every planet and there's aliens and structures and things to do. It's like they were specifically going for that thing of like occasionally you get a place and you're the first person that ever was there.
Right.
So I think it'll be interesting.
I mean, and I got the accessories, so
yeah,
clearly I'm on board to try it out.
The control looks great.
Yeah, the controller. And it keeps selling out. Like they sold out, and then I think they briefly restocked it, and it sold out again.
Don't tell Basil, but I tried to buy one after I saw it.
Oh yeah, we'll keep her a secret.
And it was sold out on the store.
And the headset's actually pretty decent too. So yeah.
Did you ever play like Fallout, or I forget how much of like even Elder Scrolls you've played?
Oh, so you're finally awake.
Yeah, well.
No, but I got the anniversary because I was like, all right, maybe, because again, Basil was like, I think you just need to give it another shot
Skyrim's
and not
really
pick
good.
up all the
Skyrim's
spoons.
really good. Yeah.
And so,
well,
I'm not as big into
if
Fallout.
they would,
But...
this is probably not going to happen given where Sony and Microsoft are and all that right now. But they ever had that for PSVR 2, hands down, that's how you should play it, because the PSVR 1 version. Really.
I could see them doing it because Microsoft again is trying to be hands off with Bethesda.
It could happen, but yeah,
I think it'd be more Sony not wanting to, for some reason.
But they really should,
yes.
That
well, again, with like slightly updated graphics and like
foveated
foveated rendering.
One of my like top.
Could you imagine? Like
VR
nobody's done a like shooting arrows with the foveated rendering thing,
right?
So you can actually see where you're aiming,
right, in detail.
So good.
If they do it,
yeah.
And heck, I'll get it, and you can borrow it, but you should give it a try because that's a really good way to experience Skyrim.
I didn't really care about Starfield just because I didn't really play those. But like watching that 45-minute thing, I'm like, okay, I might actually try it.
Even the shooting looks better than they've ever had.
And better than the first few times they showed it
Yeah.
off. Like they've clearly improved it quite a bit. So
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Another time sink.
Yes. That's at least one I feel like I can sink my teeth into because you can kind of pace yourself. However,
I think about it. I need to pre-order
that. Yeah, I already did.
Yeah.
So, and it is weird the way they structured the pre-orders because I think I mentioned, so you pre-order the game, but if you want to get the like deluxe version, there's not like a standalone SKU for the deluxe version. You have to purchase an additional item that is an upgrade to deluxe, which gets you the access like a couple days early and some of the other stuff.
That's if you do physical.
Oh, so digigial, they just
at least when I saw it, digital was split out as well.
Right, but at least like what we're trying to figure out on your part is the logistics of how you're getting the game early.
Right.
Digitally, no, you're not really having to worry about that.
You get a code, but you still have to, I think, purchase it as like two separate things. But that's the thing. It's like you have to make sure wherever you're pre-ordering it that like you're getting the physical upgrade pack
if you want,
if you're getting the physical game, or the digital pack if you're getting the digital game.
Mm-hmm.
And at least when they first got the listings up on like Best Buy and stuff, it was not clear. I had to like sift around, and then they
so
eventually
if you get like the digital game, you couldn't get the physical upgrade
but there's
pack?
nothing to stop you from doing that. Like it's really weird.
Why even have a separate thing? Just make it a pack.
Exactly. Every other game release that's done this just has a separate SKU that is the full package. So it's weird they did that. And yeah, I'm curious how I'm going to get my... I assume they're going to say, hey, you got the physical upgrade pack, so we're going to give you your disc a few days early. Even though in Best Buy system, they're specifically saying that they have two different release dates.
I mean, if
we'll
anything...
see how that works. But
did you get PC or console?
Console.
So they might just let you pre-download it.
Well,
no,
I got the physical.
Well, I know, but like they know you own it probably, depending on who you bought it through. So.
Maybe,
I guess if you bought it through Microsoft, is what I was saying.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. It'll be an interesting adventure into like how that works.
I'm really curious about mods for it too.
Yes,
so that's
they've
why
already stated they are going to.
I was worried
the mod community.
I didn't see any, but then I saw later that they were going to. Yeah. Naked mods are going to be day one. But
oh yeah,
as always.
Well, that was.
And then.
Well, that was Xbox.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, Nintendo. Well, so Ubisoft and Capcom were good. There wasn't too much new stuff in either one.
Yeah.
But there was, like, Ubisoft had gameplay of some of their things. Their stage presentation overall was just bad.
Yeah.
They've done much better in the past. I don't know. They must have hired another company, but it was just bad.
Yeah.
The camera was blurry. The frame rate was bad.
The venue was small.
Yeah.
Like everything was just...
They should have just done it digitally and not...
Weird.
But of course they wanted to be in person. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yep. Just this last week, right?
I'm just going to go in the order instead of handpicking each one. So, Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Yep.
Was the very last
I've already got it
pre-ordered.
Okay. Yep.
Looking good.
I love the visual style of it and the fact that they're tweaking that just enough. It's still very much new Super Mario Brothers, but it's just enough little touches to give it kind of...
So you pre-ordered that and RPG. Did you get the $20 off? Did you pre-order physically?
Yeah.
Okay, then no, never mind. Well, because I kept seeing online, it's like, oh, if you pre-order these two, you get $20 off.
Well, they have their digital thing.
I think it's,
Are you talking about through their ticket voucher thing?
So.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Okay.
I did that recently. I forget if I used that.
I think I did. You did to get like Fire Emblem.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, super. I mean, I loved the first one, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Super Mario RPG. I've never played that one.
We were talking about it a lot yesterday.
So,
both of you, it's going to be mandatory. I'm not joking.
He's not joking.
I've seen playthroughs.
You need to play it. Like for me, it's up there with like Final Fantasy 5 and 6.
Wow.
Like that era, it is that good.
Like
I've always heard you like those, you owe it to yourself to play it. Trust me. I mean, it's Square made.
Yeah, at that time period. Yeah.
So.
Looks like a very good remaster of that.
Yep. And the remaster looks really good. So.
WarioWare Move It.
Yep.
I like the WarioWare games.
I do.
They only last kind of so long, but they're fun and different.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I want to pick up some of the more recent ones. It's just... I've gotten them over the years. Like, I still have my original WarioWare microgames cart. I feel like it's just kind of one of those, like, they should be a little bit cheaper.
Yes.
And Nintendo never puts their stuff on sale, hardly. Like, I'd be a little more willing if they were, like, just
I don't know why they'll just do, like, bundles or, like...
Well, they are
something.
with like Pikmin.
Yeah.
So like I was telling Sean, I probably am going to get the Pikmin 1 and 2, at least that one for now. I am curious about 4. I'll see what the reviews look like. And like this is the first system where you can get all the Pikmin games. So like 1 through 4 have like you could never get all of them on one.
They're always kind of random.
So like eventually I might also pick up 3 and then 4, but at least 1 and 2 I want to really play cuz like the classic ones are supposed to be good. So and it's you get both games for a discount. It's like I think $40 or $50, something like that for both.
And it seems like they're trying new mechanics like day night and some other stuff.
Detective Pikachu Returns. So that's when I tuned in at the end of that.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what this game's about.
So
you saw
the movie,
yes,
right? Okay.
Along those lines.
we were all there.
The first Detective Pikachu game was exclusive to 3DS, and it covers like the first half of the story. This covers, I don't know if it's exactly the second, but it continues the story. But they've also been clear that like the story of the game is not going to be the same story as the movie. The things are different, and I know they were different in the first game. So this is a direct sequel. I'm sure it's going to be good, and I'm curious to see what people think about it. But man, the graphics on that look bad. I mean, really, really bad.
The animations are bad. But
like
I didn't expect
it
much.
looks like they literally took their 3DS engine and assets and ported it to Switch with no.
Knowing some of the recent Pokemon games, they might have.
And like, look, I'm sure it'll still be a decent game, but there's got to be a way they can work on some.
I don't understand for such a company with such a following, so many billions of dollars, how they can't make slightly higher quality game
to focus on.
Get some better artists, like take some more time. Like,
but like
whatever.
That being said, I'm nitpicking at the visual quality. Like
So this is not a
it's not a normal
Game
Pokemon.
Freaks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Correct.
So this is from a studio called Creatures, which they made the first Pikachu.
Yes.
They did Poke Park Wii, Pokedex 3D, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Dream Radar.
Yeah.
So it's all Pokemon games.
Yeah, I think they work exclusively on those, but
but it's not like their main.
Yeah.
So
I heard good things about like the story and the mechanics are different.
I mean the first one was very well received.
Yeah.
So like I think as a game, it'll be really good.
It an 8.2.
Yeah. But I kind of wish now that they are on Switch that they could take a little time to just give it a little more oomph.
They might also honestly just be hitting Switch limitations.
Yeah.
But
well,
which means that I'd really just give us
it. Yeah, they need to. Because some of the games looked really good, but
You know what I have, and it's killing me, kind of, that I haven't touched yet?
What's that?
Advance Wars.
Yeah.
I was so excited for that game, and I have it on my
I just assumed you played it. I forgot.
Yeah.
No, and it's ever since I got my deck, I'm like...
Yeah, I told you, and you didn't believe me, but I was the same way. It's like you get the deck, and it's like, other than the fact that it's exclusive to Switch, this thing just does what the Switch is going for.
It even just feels better in your hand.
Yeah, it's physically better. Like, it's just hard to justify that.
Yeah.
But...
So, I mean, anything that's like Nintendo and Steam, like, I'm gonna just lean towards Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Yep.
Which is 3DS?
It's the second game in the series that was a 3DS title.
I forgot that the first one hadn't been ported yet.
Like, so it was on GameCube, and then they released a version of that for 3DS. So, like, I'm wondering if they'll bring that over as well. It would be nice to just get everything on there, but we'll see.
Pikmin 1 and 2, which you talked about that. I'm assuming this is DLC for Scarlet and Moon, or Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah. There's like a new academy and then some other new mechanics.
More on Sonic Superstars. Persona 5 Tactica, Gloomhaven, which
Glubenglaben.
Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked. We've only played the board game once.
They've had the digital version forever.
I've played the digital version a bit with Tyler.
Yeah.
I obviously have no reason to get this on Switch, but
that's nice.
Cool
for those of you who don't play PC games, but if you like board games, Gloomhaven is it takes a lot of work to get it set up. So this is nice that you don't have to do
box.
that. So I was happy to see it on there.
It makes sense as a video game, and it's even kind of still looks and structured like a board game.
I need to watch it again, but I guess there's Princess Peach.
Yes.
I didn't realize that's what the game is called.
They showed no details.
They haven't given it a name. I think they're just calling it that in the list because it's unannounced title.
The only small bits they showed before her doing some type of magical girl transformation is there's a stage. So people are speculating the entire thing is a stage play, but it's hard to tell. But I guess it's cool she's getting her own game.
I mean, they've done Super Princess Peach before, which was really good. This is kind of its own thing, so I'll be curious to see more.
It'd still be interesting if they made a Sheik / Zelda herself game.
Yeah.
But I know they've been
a lot of people have been calling
poo-pooing
for
that
that
internally.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest Monsters, which to me looks like Dragon Quest Pokemon.
Basically. And it's funny because they've already done a game like that, but this is different. So, we'll see.
Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, which looks pretty cool.
I'll definitely be picking up. The first one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So. We need to play some of the community tracks again, especially now, because I'll bet there's a lot more crazy.
Well, you'd have to get it, but you could also play it in Forza.
True.
It's pretty crazy to play full-sized loops.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection 1.
Which, they teased it the other thing, but they showed a little bit in this.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I'm glad that more people will get to play those, but it's still kind of annoying to give Konami money because of what they did with Kojima. But and it's also weird that they included Snake's Revenge in that pack, which he did not work on, and it's not official canon, but I guess people get to try it out.
Vampire Survivors, which not surprised that's hitting there.
Yeah, that should be on there. They had multiplayer and some new stuff that they're showing off too.
A new pack for Mario Kart 8.
Yes.
That's right.
So
somebody's putting out they only promised so many.
I think it was 5 waves.
Well, they're up to 8. Or
extra waves?
No, maybe that was.
No, this is the 5th wave.
This was the 5th.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is they were wondering is this the last one or is there more?
Right. I think this is all they've confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Star Ocean.
Yeah.
The second
That's
story.
another one I'm really looking forward to. I already pre-ordered it. I told the guys I played that way back. I rented it from Blockbuster, and it's such a good game. It's definitely of that PlayStation 1 peak RPG games. It's also one of those crazy ones at the time where there's 2 main characters and there's literally 100 different endings depending on how you end it and choices you make. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So excited about that. The remake looks very good.
And then I don't know why, but why not the Arkham trilogy?
For anybody that doesn't already have it
Might
and
as well.
have it on the go on the Switch is pretty cool.
They're good
So,
games.
Doesn't hurt,
I was surprised it could run on there, but I think they just pared down some of the graphics.
And it would not be a Nintendo Direct without a farm game.
Or Dance Central.
Yeah.
So we have Fae Farm.
Yeah. Farming's been so big.
I mean, they only had that one as the main one, right?
Yes.
Remember the Direct where it
Yes.
was literally 5 of them
Yep.
were the same game, and it's wow.
Yep. It's now the new hotness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is. I mean, there was Ubisoft, which we kind of talked about because the only things that we really cared about was
Assassin's
Assassin's Creed.
They They tease some other bits, but yeah, Assassins is kind of the main.
Well,
they showed more
Outlaw.
Yeah, Outlaw, yeah. And they showed
Yeah,
a little
talked
bit
about that.
more of Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm really still curious what they're gonna do with Assassin's Creed because they've shown like 4 games or whatever.
oh, that's right. They did show
Yeah.
like the VR one. And
Yeah, so like I know one's mobile. There's Mirage. There's like 3 other concepts that are like future ones, which they don't usually tease this early. But then they had the whole thing of like their like ongoing world game that they're just gonna keep
Yes.
updating. It's like I don't know how that's gonna work. So I think
Yeah.
they've been kind of vague, and I hope that just doesn't happen. But we'll see. Because I think they're leaning a little too hard into Assassin's Creed, but because they had this whole thing of like they were doing them yearly, and they hit the COD problem where like the quality started to dip.
right.
So they were going to do them every other year, but I don't think they're going to go back to yearly with maybe multiple a year. That's just going to be too much. We'll see.
And on that note,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this
Yeah.
episode of Konsui Fighter Live. Thank you for tuning in for episode 37. And again, follow us on all of our social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, now on Instagram. And look out for when we come out with our Discord. Thank you all for tuning in. We did get 1 new follower on Kick, so thank you so much for that. Really was excited to see that. We will, again, probably do an August show, so we will see you then. And if you are wanting early access to the game and have an Android device, you can always search Konsui Fighter on the Google Play Store and buy the early access right now, and you can go ahead and start playing this game right now if you wanted to.
Someday Steam, hopefully
And
other
then,
places.
we're going to be, and again, since we're working on our Steam page, so once that comes out, I'll definitely let you guys know. But other than that, that is pretty much all I have, unless anybody else has anything else they want to offer. All right. Well, everyone, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you all in August. Take care.